9 women that need to be celebrated this Mother's Day. Number one on my list is that house help or nanny that doesn't steal, isn't maltreating her employer's children, or planning to eject madam and take over. Now, these people should be appreciated. There are a lot of nannies that the mothers delegate all her responsibilities to. Like you delegate cooking in most especially in Nigeria and Africa. When they say nanny outside the country, nanny is someone that just takes care of the children. But here in Africa, a nanny cooks, a nanny is a laundry person for both the adults and the children, and a lot of them. So if you have a nanny that is very good, isn't planning to poison you, isn't planning to initiate your children into nonsense, isn't planning to eject the madam obviously from the house and become the madam, then you should celebrate that one. If she definitely loves your children with all her heart, then celebrate her this season. I mean, she's like a second mom to your children. Number two on my list is the stay at home moms with no help or family help, no house help, no family help, no nanny to take care of our children. Husbands, please celebrate these women because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, and also it comes with postpartum depression. Also, those ones that also have side hustle at home. So actually, they are part-time career women and stay-at-home moms. So these people should be celebrated. They are taking care of the house, they are taking care of the children. They kind of shut down every most social events just to make sure that they are grooming the children, and the children have to tag along to every movement they make. So please celebrate them, especially those ones that the husbands are not so homely, cannot cook and do a lot of house chores. Please, if your wife is that kind of wife, please celebrate her. She needs to be celebrated this Mother's Day. Number three on my list is the working class mom that her children prefer to their nanny. Now, this shows that this woman has been able to create a kind of balance between work and family, because most times working class moms that have nannies taking care of their children or have a house help, the children get more attached to this person they are saying their primary caregiver. They get more attached to her. You see the children say, oh, I want to sleep with my nanny. I want my nanny to be in the room with me. Oh, my nanny should read me story. My nanny should help me my homework. My nanny, I want to eat my nanny's. A lot of that. But if this woman is able to build a relationship where her children can tell her things, her children feel comfortable around her, even while she's a busy working class mom. Men, please celebrate these women this Mother's Day. Number four on my list is the grandma that is single handedly training her grandchild that her child had out of wedlock and has rejected. Now, sometimes it's very difficult for single mothers to remarry because they feel like, oh, they had a child out of wedlock and it's kind of like a burden to them. So some of them give out these children to their parents. In fact, some parents rejected them already, so they are frustrated. But for that grandma that's taking up the responsibility to train this child, to take care of this child, even when the parent has rejected that child, kudos. Because sometimes some children trained by their grandma end up with low self-esteem because they don't understand parents' love. So if grandma is single-handedly taking care of this child, showing this child love, and the child stands out in life, celebrate grandma. Grandma is a hero. And for the men too, when they have children out of it, that one is sure banker. They just go and dump the child with their parents. So for that grandma, grandpa, that is, in fact, grandma, we're celebrating mothers that is taking care of that grandchild. Please celebrate her today. Number five on my list is that foster parent that treats their adopted child like their own, even when they have other children. Now, I'm not going about foreign foster parent. I'm talking about Nigerian own, like African own. Yes, outside the country, in fact they appreciate it when they adopt children. Here in Nigeria, people can just carry. Some people won't give out their children free of charge, and some people will start taking care of the child because oh, they don't have a child, or the doctor says there's no chance of them having a child yet, so it's very easy for them to take care of that child. But when the woman gets pregnant, you get to see that when she now has her own children, she actually ignores the foster child and takes care of her children more. But for that woman that that loves this foster child, even as much as she loves her children and takes care of this foster child, pays attention to this foster child as much as she does to her children. Please celebrate that man. She's gold. I mean, she's gold. She has a good heart. And for you, the foster child, to reach out to that woman that took care of you very well, even when she had her own children. Next on my list is the stepmother that genuinely loves her stepchildren. Oh yes, there's a lot of stories of stepmother, wicked stepmother and all. Yes, we know. But there are some stepmothers that genuinely wishes her stepchildren well and that loves them. You hear some stepmothers saying, even wishing the children don't get married, and a lot. We've seen a lot of that. The Cinderella story is one of them. It happens a lot. But the stepmom that loves the stepchildren like her own children, especially in scenarios where the mother of the stepchild is late, that appreciates these children, then this woman should be celebrated. So if you have a stepmother like that, you have gold, believe me, you have something rare. Next on my list is that auntie that is genuinely happy when her nieces and nephews are succeeding more than her children. Yes, you know, there are some aunties that they like you when their children are succeeding more than their siblings' children. It's just some stupid competition. I don't know who started that, but it's been happening a lot. You see some aunties dissing their nieces and nephew, especially the nieces. Oh, when are you going to get married? Oh, this and that and that. But for that one that is happy when the niece and nephew they are succeeding, she's genuinely happy even when they are succeeding more than her children. She should be celebrated. The one that stands by you, the one that encourages you, the one that even wants you to progress even though her children are still coming. Because in fact, when you see the real character of some uncles and aunties is when a parent is late and then they now have the responsibility of taking care of their niece and nephew. That's where you now see that there's bias in it and as well. So if you have that one that even when a parent is late, they still love you, they want you to succeed, and even more than your children, even when you're doing better than your children, they see an opportunity, they let you have it. Celebrate auntie and uncle. That is gold. You have gold there with you. Okay, number 8 on my list is the single mothers. The single mothers that have taken it upon themselves to take care of their children, to love them, to love them and take care of them very well and make sure that they provide for their children. The single mothers that serve as both father and mother to their children. I'm not supporting being a baby mama, but some single mothers actually take the aggression on their children, the aggression of the man leaving them, the man abandoning them. Okay, so some give out these children for adoption and a lot. So for that one that has taken it upon herself to diss everything and take care of this child, love this child and see this child stand out. There are a lot of them that did that, but it's rare. In fact, in this generation, it's rare to. Some of them depend on child support from the man. Some of them put the hate on the children. I haven't watched a video where one said, well, she dresses the children according to, she has different children from different men, so she dresses them according to the money their fathers give for child support. So if child A's father gives less, the child gets less. If child B's father gives more, the child gets more. So for those ones that love them equally, if you have more than one, loves that child equally, please celebrate those mothers. They are rare. Finally on my list is wives of religious leaders who groomed children, who followed the faith till adulthood. Now that is one very rare thing. That is one thing you should celebrate. But when you see children of religious leaders whom have grown in the faith, who still uphold the faith genuinely, you should appreciate those women, because yes, more of the discipline comes from the women, because the men are public figures and they have responsibilities to do. More of the discipline comes from the women. So these women should be celebrated, the likes of Mama Faith, Oyedepo, Mama PCB, and the rest of them. You know them, you name them. These are people whom their children still follow the faith. They've grown children who love God. So these people should be celebrated because it's not easy. Growing up, we used to hear a lot of stories of children of religious leaders because they've been so familiar with the system. Some of them want to leave the system. You see children of religious leaders not really following the faith to adulthood, trying to break out of the system. But when you see those ones that are following the faith, that are really genuinely following, that have embraced this God their parents are serving, they should the mothers celebrate the mothers. Yes, you celebrate the fathers all the time, but celebrate the mothers because she shows she's doing a good job, she's paying attention to them, and she's a perfect steady one woman. So that's all on my list today. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing mothers out there, those who love their children. If you fall into any of this category, you are worth dying for. You're amazing. Let nobody tell you anything less. You are loved by God. You're loved by your children, biological, non-biological. You are loved. You're loved by God. Have a wonderful day. Bye. See you in my next one.